Good afternoon, everyone. As you can tell, I'm a Brit, so I will talk to you in English, proper English, may I say, compared to some of these Americans. May I say that? So, let's see, how do I go forward? Let's see, next. Right, so who am I? So I'm actually an industrial designer by training, so a little bit like architecture for product. So the most famous, obviously, industrial designers are the people behind the iPhone, Jonathan Ives. I actually come from a place called Brighton in the south coast of England, about an hour south of London. But I love the beach, so I live here in Miami Beach, and I lived on the beach in England, although it was obviously a little bit colder and wetter over there. My sort of early career was actually in aerospace. I worked in a big factory building Airbus, designing Airbus, drawing Airbus parts. And then I went on to work for Hasbro, who are the famous games company behind sort of Parker Games, MB Games. They also did things like sort of Disney toys and all those sort of fun things that, was an amazing industry. It's sort of 2.1 billion turnover, and that was over 20 years ago. So toys make money, and I imagine they make even more money today. I was lucky enough, though, to move from Hasbro to working for Virgin Atlantic. And I worked there for 16 years, and I was very much part of creating that long-haul airline brand that went on to inspire Virgin America, who I'm sure many of you know. I managed to escape the world of red for a while and worked for the Olympic Games in London when we became friendly in London and helpful. And then I also was lucky enough to consult and travel around the world and work in Russia and places like that. I actually started working for Virgin Voyages before it was conceived as a company. And if you don't know about Virgin Voyages, it was created obviously by Richard Branson to get into the cruise industry, and it's joint owned with Bain Capital. We will launch our first ship in spring next year, so her maiden voyage will be out of Miami Port, and she will sail around the Caribbean. At the moment, we have about 250 team members, crew. By this time next year, we'll have 1,300 crew. So we're going from a little startup to this huge operating company. And I believe we were the biggest capital raise venture when we started this business. We actually raised 700 million times 3 for 3 ships. So it was a very sort of bold, ambitious project. So at Virgin Voyages, we like to talk in sailor speak. So ahoy, everybody. Richard had the dream for probably about 20 years to get into the cruise industry. And he had looked at everything from flotillas to refurbishing, old ships to everything in between. And I know, as many of you know, he lives in the British Virgin Isles on Necker, and he very much loves the sea and is part of that sort of lifestyle. And he really wanted to bring that sort of virgin ethos, that authenticity that you talked about with Curacao, to cruising. And that's very much my job, is to be real and to be genuine and basically fall in love with cruising. So our sort of ambition at the highest level is to get more and more into travel. And as we can see earlier, the growth of the cruise industry is great. So Virgin very much wanted to get into that sector. But I think for all of us, and basically there were sort of 4 of us, Tom McAlpin, Nirmal, who was the sort of money man, Nathan, who was the marketeer, the PR guru, and myself from a design and customer experience point of view, as sort of Northern Americans, Northern Europeans, when we started getting into the cruise industry, and I don't think any of us three had cruised before, we sort of fell in love with it, and we fell in love with being at sea. We also fell in love with shipbuilding, and we were lucky enough to work with Fincantieri, the Italian shipyard, in Siestri, near Genoa, and just seeing the sort of human ingenuity and the size and the enormity of these vessels, which I know you guys understand very, very well. It was very, very exciting for us. And thirdly, as I talked about earlier, we also like the sunshine. So, again, if you're, from the north, you love coming here, you love going to the islands for the sunshine. And the sun and the sea and the palm trees, and being able to do that through the winter is very exciting for all of us. But we had to sort of talk about who are our customers. So I think we all know that in this modern era, in these crazy lives that we all lead, and our customers, our sailors, as we call them at Virgin Voyages, lead, they're really demanding of the experiences we create for them. They're demanding of the ports, and they're demanding of the ships. And it's our job to sort of entertain these customers in the widest sense, in the sort of holistic sense of whether they want to party or whether they want to relax. And many of the things you spoke about, well-being, excursions, etc., all the things that we very much have to worry about as the cruise ship. So they wanted us to be different, and they wanted us to be energetic and fun and modern. And, very much because we're so small, we will only have 4 ships. We have to stand out. Our name helps us stand out, Virgin. Our attitude helps us stand out. But being different causes people to choose you. And we talk about our business purpose being the epic sea change for all. And when we mean all, we do mean the communities we sail to. We do mean our oceans. We do mean the companies we partner with, as well as more obviously our crew and our sailors. But we take it very seriously that we want to, form bonds with the ports and the communities that we sail to. One of the things that worked very hard, sustainability. I mean, as we know, Miami is a bit scarily cold. I've just come back from Europe and I'm like, oh, I've still got my jumper on. The world is changing, climate is changing, and when you are, a big cruise ship operator, you do need to think about how do you do it in the most sustainable way. So we have worked very hard with things like not allowing any plastic water bottles on our ships, and trying to do clean fuel systems on our ships as much as possible to minimize the impact we have on the environment, to still give people a great holiday, but to look after the environments we sail to. One of the things that's done very well for us is an adult by design positioning, where we all love our kids, but sometimes you like to go on holiday without them, and you often don't want to trip over other people's kids. So I think the fact that we positioned ourselves as separate and different was very important to us. But from a design point of view, how did we make sure this all worked together? So we knew we wanted to be different, we wanted to be more youthful, more modern, but how did we create that? And we came up with the strapline of the modern romance of sailing, and really been inspired by the past, but executed in a brand new, up-to-date way, inspired by beautiful super yachts, by the amazing oceans, and by amazing architecture around the sea. And one of the things we often say is a view is free, but you have to remind people to look at the view. So I think, our heritage of airlines and banks and hotels, we came into this cruise ship and we said, how are we going to make it sort of bright, colourful, contemporary in its approach, in its experience? And one of the things that we knew is that by being different, we had to do radical things. So in our cabins, which are probably, when I first went on the cruise ships, one of the spaces I enjoyed the most, these amazing views of the sea, nobody overlooking you, we wanted our cabins to sort of reflect this sort of almost private yacht-like feel. But we realized that half the time, the cabin was a bedroom, and you didn't necessarily want to invite people back to your bedroom. So we decided to do a converting bed, which is basically like a sofa, an L-shaped sofa that comes together as a double bed. So it allows you to have a relaxed daytime mode for the cabin, as well as a fantastic bedroom when it's in bedtime mode. But always hearing that view and always enjoying being at sea. And one of the things we did, we had a little bit of fun, because if you think about sailing historically, you would have hammocks on ships. So we put some hammocks on the balcony and actually worked with a community outreach program in Thailand who are actually sewing our hammocks, and we're actually making them of a fire retardant material to hit the legislative standards. So we like to have a little bit of fun. And then when it came to our public areas, we also knew there was amazing bits of the ships, out there today that were beautiful, the stairs, the views across the rails, but often they were forgotten, and we wanted to have more of a boutique design approach. So we chose to work with this amazing creative collective who all brought their different personalities and loved every square inch, every square millimetre of the areas they designed. So from crazy sort of eccentric Tom Dixon through to Roman and Williams, etc., we've got some amazing spaces across the ship. It's been hard to keep it all together, but but we hope we've created real choice and genuine experiences for our sailors. So we sort of have this balance almost, that you've got this huge global floating city which gives people choice, but equally you want to be able to hang out in your cabin and be relaxed. You want to have spaces that one day look one way and the next day change, because as I said earlier, and as we all know, life is very demanding, so everything's got to work very, very hard. But we're very, very, very lucky, because working with the lovely port of Miami, we're in a position that we've been able to develop a new terminal for the Scarlet Lady and for our second ship, the Valiant Lady, when she first sails here. So this project is underway at the moment. We're just about to appoint the main contractor. And if the slides ever move forward, I'll show you where it is. Oh no, now I've gone too far. Right, go back. So we've got an amazing location. I need to point right at the top of the, in fact, looking back over this hotel. So we're right at the end of the port, and we're looking back over Miami, over Brickell. So like this awesome, awesome view back. And we were very lucky because our ship is slightly shorter, so we were able to exploit that space. And working with the Port of Miami, they helped us to develop this site and really create an amazing terminal experience with us. So we've got some water development area for the sort of waterside park, and we've got a brand new terminal building. But when we thought about it, we were inspired by the history of Miami Beach and the fact that it was used often as it was basically orchards and palm groves and coconut groves. And that inspired us to create a building that was much more mellow within the land. And almost, you know, we know Royal Caribbean and Norwegian are doing epic buildings. We almost wanted something that sat more quietly and was this view onto the ship or back onto Miami Midtown. So we're very excited. This building won't be finished till the end of 2021, but is right in its fledgling stages at the moment. And I have to have a little bit of red to show us off, make us stand out. Lots of other things are happening in Virgin World, in Miami area. So we also have Virgin Trains have bought the Bright Line franchise, and we actually have a Virgin Hotel coming to this area. Virgin Atlantic obviously already fly here. So from a Virgin point of view, the fact that we had Atlantic, we were bringing the cruises here, you know, Richard really sees Miami as one of his areas for opportunity, which is very exciting. Indeed, he has a house or an apartment on Miami Beach. And then we've got this brand new hotel down in Brickell, which is very, very exciting. Doesn't open until 23-24. And here we are. A little bit of a look at our ship.
I used to be so ready to run. My philosophy, don't let nobody come too close to handle my love. Don't let it show. I want it to be you. Ooh, diving into my ocean, a brand new emotion come true. Ooh, don't let this night go. How long till you play me the song that will make me belong to you?
So, thank you very much, everybody. I think, as we know, it's all about giving our customers, our sailors, real choice. And, you know, the world is big enough and there's enough of those people to come and choose us all. We just got to give them real benefit, haven't we? Thank you very much.